So tell us, what your takeaway is about the impact of social media, what we've seen in the Arab uprising, lessons maybe that are a takeaway at this point, and how things could evolve.
Well, I don't see these as Twitter revolutions. They are real revolutions. People have stood up and demanded more of their government. However, social media, whether Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, have given them an important new tool that enables them to organize, to create movements like we saw dramatically in Tahrir Square, and that gives these movements leverage and ultimately power to force change in their respective countries. A discrete event can turn into an international force. I mean, the Arab Spring started with a street vendor in Tunisia who was humiliated by his government and set himself on fire. And that's a video that started on YouTube and then transformed Tunisia and created the impetus that and the opening in Egypt, and now we're seeing potentially transformations in other countries from Syria to Yemen and to even prospectively a country like Iran at some point in the future. So these are powerful tools, and even for governments that do transform, do become more democratic, and these tools are democratizing in the way that they function. It will lead to more accountable governments, I hope, in the future, because the ordinary citizens now have the power of information, and they can use the technologies that are available to them, including video on a cell phone. That there are 2 billion cell phones in the world today. This becomes a powerful force that forces governments that have previously not been accountable to their people now to have to take public opinion much more significantly into account. It's not that social media will supplant traditional media. I think they offer a great synergy. It's one in combination with the other. Many of the stories that we're seeing started on social media and then made the leap to traditional media. Even for social media that then brings tens of thousands of people to Tahrir Square, that miraculous picture that we saw in the heart of Cairo, it was then the traditional media that broadcast that within Egypt and around the world that created the force and created the pressure both inside the country and outside the country, and it was that force that commanded change within Egypt, a transformation that is obviously ongoing. So I think it's the combination of these different forms of media, new working with old, that we're going to see evolve in the future. The State Department and governments have always interacted with each other, but I think in the 21st century, governments have to have relationships with people, not only their own people, but also populations that are important to them elsewhere around the world. Social media is a way of having that discussion, helping understand what people are thinking in a region of the world that is important to the United States, for example. So this enables a broad global conversation to occur in ways that perhaps was not possible 25 or 30 years ago.